What is one type of tenancy I would never recommend my landlords enter into? Hi, my name is Rob Wells. I'm the Landlord Warrior on TikTok and YouTube. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to our videos here. Now, I see this type of tenancy come up from time to time, and to be honest with you, I don't think my landlords actually know what they're actually entering into, and I think this is the worst type of tenancy that a landlord should enter into. Surprisingly, it's not an oral tenancy of any sort. The tenancy that I don't like landlords entering into is a year-to-year periodic tenancy for a residential dwelling. Okay, and let me explain what periodic tenancy is. So, periodic tenancy is a tenancy that renews automatically at the end of its term. So the most common type of periodic tenancy is a month-to-month tenancy. Okay, in fact, in California, default is for a residential tenancy, if you pay rent by the month, there's civil code sections that presume that the tenancy is month to month. Okay, you can have a day-to-day type of tenancy, a week-to-week type of tenancy. Those are kind of like common in hotels, lodging resorts, that type of deal. But you could have a tenancy that goes beyond a month-to-month tenancy, like a tenancy that goes year to year. And what the problem with these types of tenancies are, you get the disadvantages of a fixed term lease, okay, like a year tenancy that it starts, January 1 through December 31 of the year that it's entered into, but you can't change the tenancy during that entire year. And the worst part of it is, unlike a fixed 1-year lease where, hey, everyone knows when it expires and you can enter into a written renewal, if you don't properly terminate the year-to-year tenancy, it will continue on for another year. Okay, so there's depending on what type of lease it is, or in fact, the civil code provides, if it's a periodic tenancy for greater than a year, you got to give at least 30 days notice. And if tenants live there for longer than 1 year, you're going to have to give 60 days notice to terminate that tenancy, absent any just cause requirements. So what ends up happening is, if you forget that tenancy is going to renew, you got to give at least, in some cases, 60 days notice before it automatically renews again. If you miss that 60-day window, you're done. You got another year tenancy on its face. And I think a lot of landlords that I come across, they don't even know that that's in their lease agreement. They inadvertently say, hey, the lease is a periodic tenancy. It goes year to year. I've yet to come across a landlord that has purposely put that in there for that reason. To me, it serves no advantage. If you wanted to have a tenancy for several years or whatnot, make it a fixed term tenancy. Make it a 2-year lease or a year lease, and then you just renew it each time that it comes up for renewal. It's like, basically, you have the disadvantages of terminating a tenancy. Like a month-to-month tenancy is advantageous because anyone can give notice. Either landlord or tenant could give notice. Tenants give 30 days notice. Landlords may have to give up to 60 days notice. Okay, but I just don't get it for a year-to-year tenancy. It just never made sense to me, because you have to actually time when you terminate the tenancy, or you have to basically, go for another year. So that's just my thought. You all do whatever you want to do. So landlords, recommendation, just keep your stuff pretty simple. Just keep it month to month, or do fixed term leases. Okay. Makes life easier. It can make your life a lot harder trying to fix things in a tenancy, like increase rent or put certain disclosures like the Tenant Protection Act disclosures that need to be in a lease agreement. Okay. So, landlords, if you're running into a problematic tenant situation, like they're not paying their rent, or you need to consider changing terms, that type of deal, you're in the Northern California area, feel free to reach out. Our profile's down below. You can book a free case review session on our website. A couple of questions that will be asked if we're a good fit or not. Put your comments, questions down below. Until next time, folks, I'll talk to you then. Thanks.